this car, it's just. Let's just get into a few things that I really didn't like. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. And I do have to say, before I start this video, please excuse if there's any wind or any noise, because I am here at the track. By the track, I mean the road course. And I'm here with no other than my HELLCAT Redeye. There's a little bit of traffic. There's also a drag event going on. You guys hear the cars? There's also a drag event going on the other side, so if it's a little bit noisy, then I'm sorry, I can't do anything about that. But I'm here with the HELLCAT Redeye. I'll be tracking it for the first time, just like I told you guys. So I tried tracking this car back in December at one of my favorite tracks here in Arizona, which is AMP. But that one does have the sound restrictions, so unfortunately it didn't make it. I honestly thought it would because it's not that loud, but I think the whine was what just made it a little bit too loud and I couldn't track it. So I'm here at the West track. If I'm honest, this is not one of my favorite tracks. Last time I was here was a while ago. It was probably like my second track day ever, and I was here with the Shelby GT350. I was pretty new, and this is a pretty technical one. The only thing is that it's really short, it's really tight. I already know it's not the best one. It's not the most ideal for the HELLCAT Redeye because that car is so big, wide, heavy. But either way, like I said, I would be bringing this car to the track, so let's make the best out of it. As you guys saw, the wind is just terrible out there, so I just decided to come back here in the car. So really quick, because I do have to be up there in like about 8 minutes. This is going to be my first time ever tracking a stock HELLCAT Redeye wide body. I already know, for me doing many track days in my Camaro ZLE and also in my Shelby, this is not the best track. So I'm just letting you guys know ahead of time, because for those of you that have seen my track videos, I do not expect the same thing, because one, this is the first time that I'm ever driving this car. It's not really meant, you could take it to the track, but it's not really a track car. I'm just doing it because I really just want to test it out. I mean, life is short, guys, and I mean, it's a very heavy car that I don't know. Ideally, I think it would do better in a larger track where there's larger turns. I mean, you guys are gonna see these are very, very tight turns. It's like almost like a go-kart track. Speaking of go-karts, they do have some go-karts on the track right now. So I usually track in the orange group, which is, it's not the beginners group, it's not the advanced group, it's like intermediate. So there's a lot of good drivers, there's a lot of skilled drivers, and let's just see how it goes. I'm probably going to have to let people pass. But either way, guys, I'm just having fun testing the car out, so I'll see you guys after. It's just way too loud in there and you guys cannot hear me, so I just got out and I came to this other parking area that's a little bit out of the main parking area for the track. So let me tell you, I went for my first session in the orange group. I wasn't able to record it just because I had like 5 minutes left, so I just didn't have time to set up the cameras. But let me just tell you, if I had to describe it in one word, how I felt, it would probably be frustrated. This car, I mean, it's just, it's not there. It's obviously, it's not the Camaro ZL1 ZLE. Obviously, it's not the Shelby GT350. And in the orange group, there's skilled drivers. So this car, it's just not cutting it. And since it can't corner like any of the other cars that are there, I can't keep up. I feel the weight of the car. I feel the tires. It's just so heavy. It's just not ideal. So there was a lot of things going on. I was slowing down the other cars, and I don't want to be that person. I don't want to keep being that person because it's not fun to me, because then I need to stop. I can't focus on my line. I need to let them through, because I'm not going to be the person that holds everyone up and everyone's just there complaining and dreading this, like, why is this person in the orange group? So I think what I'm going to do next time is just go down to the red group, just because I think that'll just be better for the car. That way it's not so competitive, which is what the orange group is. I just don't want to be that person, and the car is just not doing it for me. Obviously, it's not a 1 ZLE, it's not a Shelby, so I'm just gonna go down to the red group and then see how that one goes. Hopefully my experience is better. Still getting to know the car. Obviously, it's just not doing well. Alright, so I just got out of the second session. This time I went in the red group, and let me tell you that the car did so much better. I did a lot better. I'm finally starting to get the hang of it, and I wasn't slowing anyone down. If anything, sometimes I had to pass people. Still have one more session, which this one I'll record for you guys, so stay tuned for that. Well, I just finished my third and final session here, and I have to say that I'm a lot happier because the car did better. I did better because obviously just driving the car more often at the track, then I just start feeling a lot more comfortable, and I just start seeing, okay, I can do this, I can't. And I do feel the limitation there. I can feel it when I reach it, so I'm like, okay, either I need to just tone it down a little bit, or I need to keep it there if I can. But I mean, overall it was okay. I did let 3 cars pass by, but there's really nothing that I can do about those. I really couldn't compete with them because they're just better cars for the track. They can take better turns. So one was a Shelby GT350, another one was an M3, and the other one was a Z01. So not much I can do there. I did pass some other cars, I think maybe like 2 or 3, but they were slower cars. I mean, I had a lot of fun. This car is very fast in the straightaway, but to be honest, if you track, then you do understand that you can be so fast in the straightaway and pass everyone, but once you get to the corners and you're just holding up the traffic, so if you have to slow down a lot, you can't take those corners really fast like I have to do with this car, then that's where it counts, because that's where the other cars are just going to close that gap and then just catch up to you. So that's where you're holding them back, and you're gonna have to let them pass next time in the straightaway, even though you're faster in the straightaway. So that's the whole dilemma with having a super fast car but it can't turn. It's not just all about power at the track. I think overall it did okay. I'm pretty happy with what it did. So now, since I'm done for the day, I'm just going to clean up everything and then head on home, and then once I get there, I'll just give you my final analysis of how I think the red I did overall today at the track. So I'll see you guys there. Now I'm back home, but it is the next day. Now the question is whether or not you can track a HELLCAT Redeye wide body. So overall, I have to say yes, you can. It is possible. Just don't expect it to outperform any other track oriented cars. You guys saw at first I was very frustrated just because whenever I go to the track, whenever I take my cars there, I just like to drive them hard. I like to just drive 10-10, at least to my own abilities. And I quickly realized that with this car, you just can't. You really have to learn the car. And and understand it. So the first time I was like, well, all right, I'm getting frustrated. The car's telling me, no, you can't drive me like that unless you were to do some work to me. So the more times that I went 2 more times and I felt a lot more comfortable. I was learning the car. I was still frustrated just because I really wanted to just drive it really hard like I drive the other cars, but you have to understand your car. You have to respect the car, because if not, then that's how you end up making a mistake. So let's just get into a few things that I really didn't like about driving the HELLCAT Redeye that I noticed. First, let's start off with the weight of this car. I mean, it's no surprise to all of us that this is a very heavy car. And that's exactly how I felt throughout my entire track session. Another thing I didn't like were these tires. These tires are just absolute crap. I almost felt like I was driving on ice with them. I had to be very, very careful, because if not, one mistake and it could really have cost me. Another thing is the steering. The steering just felt very loose. It felt very unresponsive. Even though I did have all of my settings in track, so I know it wasn't that, because I know someone will end up asking, but no, the steering just didn't feel as good. Then when taking turns, I could just really feel the body roll. I can really feel the brake dive, so the suspension is not that great, at least for the track. And another thing that I really did like, that really did surprise me, that wasn't bad at all, were actually the brakes. So there were a few times down the straight that I pushed it all the way and I was just like, you know what, let me test these brakes, and they were pretty good. So not bad at all for what this car is. And another thing, this is probably like the last thing that I really didn't like, is this seat. So this seat is perfect for long road trips, perfect for driving in the street, perfect for the drag strip. It's perfect for just anything where you're not going to be tossing the car around. But not only was I fighting with the car, but I was also fighting to just trying to stay still in this chair. That was something that just really bothered me throughout the entire track session, and I was just annoyed. And I'm also a little bit sore just because these really aren't the most ideal seats for the track. But I think overall, that's everything that I really didn't like about the car. Other than that, I mean, it is okay. It isn't as bad. So there are a few things that you can actually do, or at least that I would do and change if I were to take this car to the track. So first off, I would start with weight reduction. So I would remove the rear seats. I would probably gut the car inside. Just as much weight as I can remove, I would do. The second thing is that I would get better, stickier tires. That is going to make a huge difference when driving. As far as the steering, I mean, there's not really much that you can do to that. You can just work on suspension. A lot of suspension work. I mean, that's going to just be night and day when you drive the car at the track. And I mean, if you're serious, then add some aero. That is going to help you a lot. As far as brakes, like I said, the brakes, I have no complaints about them. They are pretty good for what they are, but when it's time to change your brakes, then I would get some upgraded pads and rotors. And I mean, I think, the most important thing, guys, I almost forgot, how can I forget this, is that seat. Remove that seat. I would get a bucket seat. I would get a harness. I would get a roll cage. I mean, there's just so many things, and this car would just be awesome. But now that I'm done taking it, that was my first and last time taking it to the track. I just wanted to have fun. I just wanted to experience it and just try out new things. So now that we did take it to the track, it's time to finally start focusing on the purpose on why I got this car, which is taking it to the quarter-mile events, half-mile events, and really experiencing the car there, because obviously that's where it shines. So overall, if I had to give a rating to this car, I would say 3.5 stars out of 5. Like I said, it's not bad. It's just not going to outperform a track-oriented car, but I mean, you can take it to the track and you will have fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.